Hi again everyone, hope you're all doing really well. So I know it's been a little while since I did a video. I've been travelling quite a lot lately. I'm coming back from a several day road trip where I've travelled north in Australia by about 2,000 kilometres, and I'm about 3/4 of the way back to finishing that, so racking up about 4,000 kilometres in the space of just under 2 weeks. Anyway, so as a result, it's been a bit hard for me to stick to my regular posting schedule, so I thought maybe I'd put a little video out while I'm driving, or just talk to you guys a little bit while I'm driving. It's probably more so for my own cure to boredom, rather than just to the sake of putting out a video. It's long drives, and sometimes the roads can get quite empty here in Australia, so it's quite good. Unfortunately, my camera angle is not great, so I apologise in advance for that. Maybe I might just edit out the rest of the video and just put like a nice little picture of something stupid there for you to look at. I don't know how long I'm going to talk for, but I just thought I'd talk about something, a bit of a trend thing, which I think is going to actually sort of have a longer term impact on the broader economy that isn't really being mentioned. So there's been a whole raft of economic data, both here in Australia and in America and around the world, that's painting this picture of this increasingly sort of glum setting. We're getting obviously rising interest rates. It's the thing that's dominating the headlines. That's coming in as a result of the higher than normal inflation we've been experiencing. So what's been happening is we've been seeing a big sell-off in lots of stocks. Interestingly, the Nasdaq has recorded its worst start to the year, worst 4 months since the GFC in 2008, and that's quite an interesting development in the sense that that's not something that's getting a lot of attention at the moment, and that's kind of not surprising. A lot of sorry, I'm gonna push back. A lot of tech stocks, really tech and high multiple stocks really boomed during COVID, and I don't think those sorts of earnings were going to be paid for at those high margins once interest rates start to rise. And now we know that we are expecting several high interest rates to come throughout the year at a faster rate than what we have normally seen in both Australia and America and the rest of the world. Whenever I say these things, I'm talking kind of macro, like not just single market. I'm trying to talk more the broader market. Now, while we're seeing all these key economic pieces of data come out, which are painting this not very rosy picture of what's going on at the moment, it's kind of being offset a little bit in the media because people are talking about how good things such as the employment rate are right now. And it's true, we actually have, both in America and Australia and around the world, we have quite good unemployment figures at the moment. It's really good. Now, that's kind of one thing that's weighing against the other sort of negative financial figures that we have been seeing. Now, there is a bit of a problem with this. When we talk about unemployment being really low, that's great. People are all trying to get into the workforce and stuff. One thing that's not really being talked about, though, is that right now the participation rate today is actually, I don't know the figures off the top of my head, but I know this to be true. The participation rate is lower than it was pre-COVID. Now, what this means is the participation rate is what percentage of your able adult population is actually working. And in countries like Australia, America and Europe, it typically sits around 60%. So about 40% of those people of the population who can work or undertake full-time, so depending on how it's defined in your national settings, generally don't engage in that sort of activity. So therefore, when they calculate the employment or the unemployment figure, it's the percentage of people participating in the workforce that's drawn from. So that's people who are actively seeking work, and that's worked out through social security and stuff. Now, given we've got this rising cost of living and a lower participation rate, I think what we might see coming up is we might start to see a rise in the participation rate, because things are starting to get more expensive. More people are probably going to want jobs, and there's also talk around it being a bit of a job, an employer's market at the moment, in the sense that a lot of businesses can't get enough people. So this might bring more people back into the workforce, and in a sense, instead of there being, I guess, shortness in the number of people working, there's going to be an abundance, and this is actually going to probably accelerate more as countries start to ease further on restrictions around isolating regarding COVID-19, etc. So we're going to see this big influx of people potentially to the workforce, and what that's going to do is it's going to potentially blow out the unemployment figure, at least temporarily. And given that that is probably the only positive major piece of economic news at the moment, it's obviously, I think it could actually act as a means of heightening the whole situation at the moment. So it's something to watch out for. It's just a bit of a thought. I don't know. It will probably have a broader impact on lots of stocks that are already falling. So it's probably going to actually add further firepower if it does come to fruition. I can kind of see it coming, but I feel like it could be something that comes down the pipeline. So all these types of macro data points that we talk about, they all kind of interact with each other in some way, and it's all cyclical. So while if this high unemployment does start to come to fruition, we probably will likely start to see improvements in other macro data points which will offset this again. So that's the nature of the economy. It's constantly changing and evolving. Anyway, just a little bit of a thought about what could be potentially coming and further signal a bigger problem for the economy than many are thinking. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on this all. I better pay attention to the road. Not even sure if I'm going to post this, but yeah, I should be back with my sort of regular videos, if not tonight, from tomorrow. Anyway guys, take care. Cheers.